What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. Why won't this stop playing? Please stop playing. Please, please. There it goes. Tuning 101 tonight. We're gonna tune the Tinylifters. Where the hell are they? Here they are. Look at all these Tinylifters, yo. Not one, not two, but three. Ah! What's wrong with me? Yeah, we're gonna get them tuned in tonight. They are on very soft, very safe tunes because previously I was having all kinds of jello issues with them. But as you saw last week, we're not dealing with that anymore, weirdly. So yeah, let's get them dialed in so that they can handle the extremely... the CG on these things is just a hot mess. Because the Insta360 GO is up really high. You know, the prop line is all the way down here, and then the 26 gram Insta360 GO is all the way up here. What helps is the way that the batteries mount on the Cockroach 75 frame. You can kind of see it on the bottom there. It takes two 1S batteries. There you go. You can see it right up in here. So it puts the batteries fairly low. But, you know. It just gets weirder and weirder. Every live stream gets a little bit more strange. Hold on, I gotta move to the left. Man, I still got my shoes on and shit. Yo, I was a little late because I was stuck at Home Depot waiting for Home Depot. I was stuck at Home Depot waiting for paint to get made for me. I did a single pass. I did the first coat of gray on the big long wall over there, and Patrick is coming over in a little bit, and we're gonna knock out the second coat and do the trim. Well, I mean, I just rolled the first coat on. I didn't do the edging or whatnot. But yeah, hopefully by the end of the night tonight, it'll be looking good. Look at these. Speaking of looking good, look at these shoes, yo. Look at my shoes. Look at these Pumas, man. Yo, Pumas are extremely comfortable shoes. I'm just staggered by how comfortable these are compared to like Vans and All-Stars. It says right inside, soft foam. They ain't kidding. I got a stomach ache. I ate a salad that had a lot of onions in it, and now my stomach is a hot fucking mess. Let's go back in time, friends. Let's go back in time. Let's go back to Monday's live stream, and I'm actually gonna put it on. You guys are gonna love this, I promise. This is well worth the jib jab. So on Monday's live stream, we took this QAV-Cine, and I did the Betaflight setup for it, and
so for a frame like this one with a lot of different angles,
blah 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 blah.
might actually cause the carbon.
All right, so here I am doing the Betaflight things.
So I'm going in raw. Doesn't really matter that it's because with a GoPro naked on and the 850 tattoo.
Hold on. Ready?
What and what kind of a ESC is this? I'll find it. GoPro naked.
Hold on. Here we go. Gotta find it. Wait a second. I did get the motors to spin up.
Motor 1 is good. Motor 2 is wrong. It means motor 4 is
Well, that's interesting. Okay. Well, what I was gonna say is on Monday, I switched the flight controller over on this rig, and I put power to it. I put 4S to it, and during the live stream, I said something along the lines of, "I'm going in raw, friends. Look, I'm not even going to use a smoke stopper. I'm sure that it's fine." And I put power to it, 4S power to it without the smoke stopper. Flight controller's blown up now. I went out to actually fly it, and the flight controller's yesterday, and the flight controller's blown up. And what had happened was, I took a picture of the way the previous flight controller was set up. I replaced it with the same flight controller, but I got everything shifted over by one. So I was sending VBAT. Well, shit, I don't know if I can really take... that was the power out. Yeah, no, and I just looked at that light. Okay, no. The flight controller just blew up on its own. I typically blame myself for everything. But in this case, the motors spun up, and the motors were good to go, and it was a power out issue. I had the Vista wired incorrectly, but it was just not sending power to the Vista. Strange. I don't know why the flight controller blew up, but the flight controller that was in it blew up. So last night, again, I put more time in and put the original flight controller back into it because I realized that the original flight controller was not the problem. It was a motor screw issue. We talked about this on Monday. So yeah, hopefully this flight controller doesn't blow up. It was a CL Racing Talon F7 flight controller. CL Racing flight controllers are usually really good, but you know they are at the mercy of the people that make the chips, and so if the chips suck, the flight controller is going to suck. My God, the number of blown up electronics lately has been absolutely absurd. This was a flight controller that I bought probably 2 years ago, so it's not a part of the current. It seems like right now, all of the electronics that we're able to get our hands on have like shit-ass components in them, and they just don't hold up. But this flight controller was old, so this is not a part of that situation, as the cool kids say all the time. These batteries are charged and are going to get flown tomorrow. Hey! I flew this thing yesterday. So, yesterday, I went out and I did some hover flight time testing on the Cinesplores. And you got to give me 10 cents a day to see the results of that testing. It's a Patreon post. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com. The top button is Patreon. It's $3 whole a month, which is 10 cents a day, and you'll get access to that testing that I did and tons of other really cool stuff. Tech Tips is a tag that I use on Patreon to put. You know what? I just realized that I forgot to use that. I forgot to tag that post. I need to put a couple of tags on that post. There are so many posts on, hey, look, here it is. Look, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like, but I'm not going to show you the results because I need the money, to be super honest. But I'm going to edit this, and what tags can I use? I try to use the same tags over and over again. Not runtime. No, I'm gonna put it under Tech Talk because Tech Talk has the majority of the, and I'll also put it under weights. Might as well put it under weights as well. All right, so there you guys go. Yeah, lots of other benefits to joining my Patreon. You'll get on the Discord server with all of the text channels. It really makes a huge difference. If you want to jump up from the $3 tier, you can get into every other Monday giveaways, 4 giveaways every other Monday. As soon as you win one of those giveaways, it like pays for damn near 6 months of your subscription to my Patreon. But the most important thing is that the Patreon allows me to keep doing these live streams for 8 to 10 hours a week, every single week. So yeah, I went out yesterday, I did that. I also flew this guy. This is the Tooth Fairy 2, which I had, and it kind of still is, in Cinewhoop setup with the Cinewhoop arms here. I've decided to not use this as a Cinewhoop anymore, and it's going to become a freestyle rig. So I got the regular 3-inch arms for this. I just haven't had a chance to put them on yet. These Cinewhoop arms are like kind of fine as long as you don't crash really hard. If you start crashing really hard with these arms, you're gonna beat the hell out of you know, the little extensions here for it to be a Cinewhoop and use the ducts. Oddly enough, though, I did crash it once. The arm end held up totally fine, and it protected the motor and the propeller and whatnot. So yeah, not a terrible idea actually to use the Cinewhoop arms for this, but I can't imagine that they would hold up to. It was a pretty light crash. I can't imagine that these would hold up to a very hard crash, but they are cheap. The arms are pretty cheap, so yeah, I don't know. But this thing is going to get the regular 3-inch arms. I'm going to keep this session mount up on it here because it acts like a big old bumper and it doesn't really weigh all that much. If for some reason I want to squeeze out some extra performance and flight time, I will take this guy off. But it's kind of cool to have it up there. And as like a big pet, so I'm going to leave these Axis 2004s on it. 3700-ish kV. By the way, on the Cinewhoop arms, you can do 3.5-inch props. It just barely clears 3.5-inch props, mainly because it needs to use ducts for 3-inch, ducts and then 3-inch props on the inside of the duct. So you take the duct off and then magically you can run 3.5-inch props. It's pretty cool. But yeah, this is going to be a freestyle rig. This is the one of the rigs that I'm going to see if the DJI DVR footage out of the goggles is kind of good enough to use for like a full-blown flight edit. Also, I'm going to sort of be comparing that footage to RunCam hybrid footage. The RunCam hybrid footage will almost certainly be better looking, but it won't adjust from shadows to brights as quickly. So that'll be kind of cool. I'll fly the same spot with one of the rip squeaks and then this, and we'll cut back and forth from the footage and see what looks best. So yeah, this flew really, really well. I mean, as kind of to be expected, but I did have a big desync at complete random, which was very strange. So I got to get this back out and check that out. I flew this on these Emax A-Van 3.5-inch props, as well as the HQ. The HQ, these big bitches. Look at the profile here. Look at it against my shirt. Look at that. Look at that big ass blade. This is HQ's newest T-mount Cinewhoop prop. It's the 3.5-inch Cinewhoop prop. It's the D-T90 by 3. It flew okay with these. I think it flew better with these. Cinewhoop props are going to be bullnose to scrape against the duct as closely as possible. These have like a proper wingtip design here. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit less efficiency on this, but it should make a little bit more power with this. I didn't notice that. It seemed to make just as much power on these guys. Chances are it did make a little bit more power on this, but it's this is a better performing prop. This propeller profile is going to fly better with wind coming in from the side, which is the situation with non-ducted rigs, right? We spend all of our time flying around like this, and the wind coming sideways over the propeller is strange, like for propeller design. Usually propellers are designed to just have air coming like this. One of the huge challenges to helicopters and quads and shit that we fly is getting a propeller, getting a blade profile that not only works with wind coming straight on, but also works with wind coming at a 45-degree angle, a 50-degree angle, a 60-degree angle, a 10-degree angle, a 20-degree angle, right? So these props are going to do a much better job at that. This is my full-time job. If you'd like to support me, join the Patreon. That's the way you can help out the most, and you'll get the most benefit from it. But there's a million other ways you can help me out. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com, click all the buttons, and I won't die. Thumbs up down below, subscribe, bell, all that good stuff. Looks like the last of the Cinewhoop batteries are done charging, so we've got plenty of batteries to put through these Tinylifters, but we're going to chat about a couple more things here first, and we're going to get caught up on chat. Speaking of the word chat, how many times can I say the word chat? ImpFPV was first, Rob Axelson was next, Paul McDonald, Aircon, Bozadar, Rockcrawler, Kiz Bartlett, Ed K, Riot9, Michael D. Michael D, thanks for the USB extension that showed up yesterday, I think it was. Brandon Woodford, ImpFPV again, Riot9, Michael D, Aircon, Lost Sync, Denzel the Terrible, C-Bagsy. YouTube just did the thing, so if you want the Giggly Man to read your name, you got to get in early, you got to say something. If you want to talk directly to me, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. When you do that, it'll light up an orange, and I'll know you're talking to me. If not, I'll give you your privacy. ImpFPV says, hi all. CiottiFPV cultists. Rob Oxison says, am I early? You were. Rockcrawler says, hey. Kiz Bartlett says, good evening. As Flanders would say, gang giggity gangles. What an evening we have. Ed K says, evening all. Guess I'm early. How'd that happen? Michael D says, what's up? Hope everyone is having an awesome day. He also says, you said in your Sunday stream to remind you about trying Throttle Expo. Changing my Throttle Expo. Yeah. Thank you, Michael D. Tonight, we're gonna be doing the Tinylifter stuff. Tinylifters are definitely going to benefit from Throttle Expo, so I probably won't screw around with Throttle Expo tonight. Although maybe we'll just take a look at it. I'll be on analog, so I'll be able to see my. Although can't really say that anymore because the DJI root hack will allow you to get the full OSD, and you can get your throttle value in your DJI OSD, which is awesome. Denzel the Terrible says using UPS to send it. C Bagsy says hey. Brandon Woodford says, hey man, what's going on? Somebody should write a song with that. Michael D, thank you for the reminder. Michael D also says, I was watching Sunday's stream when you asked about what the new fun should be. How about Camlink fun? They're currently $69.99 on Amazon. Since when are they $69.99 on Amazon? They were $120 on there. Camlink. Holy crap. Oh, that's an imitation one. Wow, that's pretty sneaky of them. They named it the exact same thing as the Elgato, but they did not. But it is not the same thing. Easy Cap. Yeah, the Elgato one is over $100. I'm gonna find one at some point on Facebook Marketplace for less than $100, and then we'll be good to go. There's no huge hurry. I mean, although it would be nice to be able to output DJI into the live streams. But what do we have now? The 11 Mini fund. Yeah, the 11 Mini is more donkeys. Oh boy, I'm confused. I'm confused and horrified. That's a really good idea though, Michael D. Maybe we'll do. I want to start doing like per stream, like goal based gear fund things. What do you guys think it looks like? How do you guys think it looks with the white light in here? I don't have the super crazy colorful lights going right now. I just have white light. It's not bad, right? That it's a little dark though. The inside of this cabinet is a little dark. I gotta figure out a way to get a little bit more light. Over there. Hi! Hey, on another thing, on BetaFPV, you can use a coupon code to get free BT 2.0 leads. I'm gonna do a little BetaFPV order here because of it. And yeah, look, where's the coupon code? First 30 free. Look at that. I'm getting this Meteor 65 frame in orange for T-Bird, actually. I'm getting 4 of these Meteor 65 frames for the giveaways. And then look, you can get 30 BT 2.0 connectors for nothing. The code is first 30 free. FIRST30FREE. Thank you to the homies that gave me the heads up on that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, get yourself some free BT 2.0 connectors or else. Oh, and hey, speaking of tiny whoops, I'm gonna feature this little build here tonight. Darrel, shout out to Darrel Virag up in Toronto. Look at this build. Mob Light 75 modded and Mob6 revisions. Handmade canopy, handmade carbon midframe, Rennie screws. I don't know what the hell Rennie screws are. Let me zoom a little bit for you guys. I don't know what Rennie screws are, but I think it just means like plastic screws. Modded Mobula 6 canopy, lightened USB port partially removed, BT 2.0 shaved down. Unbelievable the lengths that Darrel has gone to cut weight, just wild. Runcam 3 nano wires shortened, post mounts cut out, frame shaved down, carbon midframe, better mass centralization, rigidity, weight reduction. Flight controller flipped, VTX antenna flipped, BT 2.0 flipped, 2.4 gig antenna shortened. Jesus. Nylon washer, reinforced frame standoff, crazy glue stiffened gussets. Wild stuff. This is probably a little too big. Scale it down a little bit. Yeah, just an unbelievable lengths that he's gone to get this thing lightened up. Jesus, 18.43 grams for a 75 millimeter motor-to-motor rig. Unreal. Super impressed by this build. Probably would not work for me. I don't think it would be quite durable enough for me. But I don't know. Maybe I love this little carbon fiber central plate thing. That is super slick. Maybe with this diamond board and all of this extra space up in the front here, maybe when I slam this thing, if I were to build it, the camera would have room to move down and not destroy the board. Although from what I've heard, the diamond AIOs just explode when you crash, full stop. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole, but I am very impressed by this. Looks like they're the EX0802 motors. Yeah, this is pretty rad, man. I'm very impressed by this build. But I have a funny feeling. Oh yeah, look, he shaved down the, wow, that's dedication right there. He shaved the material down in here, in between the posts on the frame. That's wild. That is dedication. So yeah, you can build a 75 that's light, but man, plastic motor screws, that wouldn't last for me. Frame shaved down, maybe, I don't know. Diamond AIO probably would just blow up on me. Maybe it wouldn't, probably would though. I don't know. I hit these things really hard, so. But yeah, very, very, very cool build. I'm absolutely staggered that that there's a 75 millimeter Mobula 7 V4 frame rig that's 18.5 grams dry. That's pretty wild, man. Thumbs up to Darrel Virag. Very cool little build there. I like that a lot. And it's kind of giving me some ideas where I can, I don't know. I'm so happy with how the Mobula 6s fly that I probably won't go super far down the rabbit hole to lighten up the 75, but you never know. If I get totally bored one night, maybe I'll see if I can shave a gram or two. But I really dig the my current Mobula 6 builds because like it's not custom, it's just off the shelf parts, put it together and go. When it breaks, replace the part, keep going. Right? Like when you start to customize everything like this, and this is a hard lesson learned in motorsport for me. The more you customize on the car, as you start using it hard and things start breaking, when those customized parts break, you then have to re-customize the replacement part. And it gets incredibly time consuming. And like worst case scenario is when you like bespoke the entire car and you've customized the entire car and then you slam it into something and you're fucked, right? You've got like 200 hours worth of customized parts on the car that are all ruined. And like, it's, you know, all that time is gone, right? Money is much easier to replace than time in a way. Good call, Market Zero. It's not a Mobula 7 V4 frame. That is a Mobula 7 V2 or V1 frame, which are much more fragile. So yeah, that frame actually would not survive my unbelievable abuse. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you're gonna put 10 hours into customizing something that you're gonna crash, understand that when that stuff breaks that you spent all that time on, you're gonna have to do it all over again, right? So like if you're gonna run something hard and crash something hard, you want to try to use as many off-the-shelf parts as possible so that, because the other thing that's gonna happen is you're not gonna fly it hard. If you've got 10 hours invested in something to lighten it up like that, you're not going to be willing to fly it hard because you're going to be like, fuck no, I just put all this time in. I'm not going to put all this time in again and again and again and again and again every time it breaks. Or maybe that's just me. Seabagsy says, hey. Like, June Loco says, what's your opinion on the budget stack from SpeedyBee under $70? I watched, when Mike from GemFan stayed with me earlier this year for a week or two, over the course of 3 days at one point, he had 3 of those SpeedyBee ESCs fail on them. So I don't care how cheap that stack is. It is a resounding hell no from me. Kind of makes sense though, right? Like that stack costs like half of what all the other stacks cost. Of course, something is not going to be durable, right? That's just kind of how it goes. So my opinion is to stay the hell away from it. The flight controller is probably fine, but the ESC is a nightmare. I don't know what version of the ESC Mike had. Maybe he had version 1, maybe he had version 2, maybe he had version 3. But for a stack today in September of 2022, a $70 stack is probably going to blow up. Just law of averages. That's not the right usage of that, but you know what I'm saying. Bob Bruce says, I don't know if you're doing any Q&A, but I just always Q&A. Just bought a Mobula 7 with the SPI FreeSky, and I'm not getting very good range at all with my TX16X. Do you have any input on this? I don't. I mean, FreeSky you're not going to get great range with as it is. My guess would be that they have an antenna on there that's not tuned at the right length. But yeah, so I actually flew FrSky on the other thing I flew yesterday was my old ass FreeSky Flow Ride. This is my very first 5-inch rig that I hung on to. This is FPV Cycle's very first frame, and it has no ass. It's an assless frame. Yeah, I flew this, and it's on FrSky, and I was absolutely... And this is a proper FrSky setup with an RXSR with diversity at almost a 90-degree angle, not quite. And I was blown away at how little range this thing got. I went behind one single building with plenty of stuff for it to bounce off of, and I had a little micro failsafe back behind the building. So yeah, I mean, if you're used to Express LRS or Crossfire, FrSky is going to be really disappointing. But if you're going like 10 feet away and you're having issues, then it's probably an antenna issue. But yeah, the range of FrSky, it really blew me away that I had that little micro, and the RSSI just took a huge dump. It was really shocking. In fairness, there is a cell tower on the other side of that building, a couple of 100 feet away. Maybe that had something to do with it, but yeah, food for thought. FreeSky, we're very spoiled, very, very spoiled by Crossfire and Express LRS. Maybe that's what TBS was doing with Tracer. Maybe they were like, nah, fuck range. Let's make these people understand and appreciate Crossfire. Because all I hear about from people that fly Tracer is constant failsafes. So yeah, who knows? NeoFlow says, straight to the point, when I arm, my motors twitch, but it flies fine. What would that be, please? More than likely startup power, but the big question that I would need to have answered is, when did that behavior start? Whenever that behavior started, whatever happened right before that behavior started is probably what caused it. If it's a fresh build doing that, it's startup power related. Cole Powers says, I think the camera image is brighter than before. It's not, and that's a funny. It's funny that you think that. That is an optical illusion. There is just more light in the frame right now, which makes me seem brighter. But the camera is locked to manual exposure. I have all the exact same lights on, so believe it or not, my face is getting the exact same amount of light that it always does. But the background, instead of getting purple light, is getting white balanced light, so it makes it look brighter. Isn't that cool? Makes me look brighter, I should say. Nickel Sticks says, do you have any input on the Session 6 rumors? Not really, but I don't think they're really rumors anymore. The rumors have been... Yeah, it just seems like it's a real thing. So yeah, we just have to wait it out and profit. Michael D says, looking good with the lighting. Thank you, dude. Danzilla the Terrible says, the colored background lights are cooler. I agree, Danzilla. But it's cool to mix things up. It's all these lights are all controlled on an app on my phone. So it's really fun to just be able to come in here and be like, what do I want to do today? Black lamp, we can go purple, we can go red, we can go pink, do a little green, ooh, or white. Yeah, I do need to figure, I do need to get some more light on this. Oh, the top is not, you know, I've been actually meaning to do this. Let me do something real quick. Real quick. You guys can see the effects live. Ready? This is going to be just the most interesting thing that happens to you all week. Not really. Oh, God, I've gotten myself into a sticky situation. That's what she said. Come on. Can you just... Can't... Oh, hold on. Oh, God. Get over there. Ah, there we go. Ugh. Man has crisis during live stream. Okay. I've been meaning to drop this light down on the floor and see what it looks like. Because by doing this, I can get this light a little bit closer, which might be a good thing. Might not. But it might. Okay. So let's see what that's like. I gotta point these fuckers up though. So the light is now on the ground. And I can uplight this shit a little bit. And that might be cool. There we go. What's that look like? Wow, it's a lot brighter. Wow, it does a much better job lighting that up. Okay. Shit, I thought that would work, and I was right. I can even tuck this guy in a little bit here. Extra room there. Look at that. Woo! I think I like that better. So now when I go to colors, it should also throw a little bit more color. Wow, look at that matching up with the purple paint on the wall. I'll be damned. Okay, all right. Where's all that? Oh, you know what I can do? You know what might look cool? If I take that globe out. The globe is putting a ton of white up here. So if I take the globe and, oh, now we're talking. I like that better. I think the globe needs to be purple. Yeah, that's it. That's the one right there. What if it goes a little blue? Blue or purple? Purple kind of looks pink. That's blue. That's actual pink. The blue looks pretty good. Cool. Digging that. Yeah! What do you think of that? What a strange series of events that happens on these live streams. Justin, the guy, late to the stream, but I made it. Blew my truck up on the way home from Moab last week, but got some epic drone chasing around the some buddies on dirt bikes. Very cool. Sounds like it was worth it, Justin. It wasn't worth it. It's never worth it when vehicles blow up. That sucks, man. Did you run it out of oil or get too hot? Ramdago says a pack of 2S BT 2.0 males is bit 2 for 1 deal. Fat Pastor says package will be on its way to you tomorrow. Same to you, Fat Pastor. Your winnings from the giveaways Monday are on their way. Hey, Vern Kelk, I messaged you on Patreon, and Braden, I messaged you on Patreon. I need your address. Ram Dago says my 75 is 34 grams, 300 mAh, won't lift it. Really? You need more angry motors. It should be okay. Pedro Tomei says, have you seen the small from TrueRC? I have. I broke one on the live stream last week, and then I repaired it. And yeah, it'll be going in the next Mobula 6 build, I think. There is a build that it's going to go in. I forget what that build is. Might be the HD0 build. Market. Hold on. YouTube did the thing. No, we got that from Market Zero. Kiz Bartlett says, you really need to have that happy balance between strength, convenience, and weight. That's why I think the Mobula 6 is a great whoop. Yeah, I agree, Kiz. Big time. I agree. Talha says, help Ciotti. I tore off the pad of the U.F.L. pad while trying to remove the antenna. Can I recover it? Yeah, there should be here on YouTube, like U.F.L. U.FL repair is what I'm searching for. I've shown this on the stream a couple of times. Yeah, this is going to help you out. Just search for U.FL repair and good Lord. Yeah, it looks like there's a ton of stuff. It's super easy. You're just going to, I mean, technically you can solder it back on. You can solder the U.FL connector back on, or you can just strip the antenna down and direct solder it. Yeah, you'll have the answer here. Somebody will have a good little how-to on that. Christ, I might even have, that might be one of the shorts that I did. Is that one of the shorts that I did last year? Of course not. Of course not. That's okay. All right. Ha! Fat Pastor says, I got the BetaFPV ELRS Whoop board. Cinewhoop has put the HD0 VTX canopy and cam on the Cinewhoop 0802 27,000 kV motors. Flies almost as good as the Happy Model Ultra build, waiting on the 300 mAh. BetaFPV ELRS Whoop board. I'll be interested if that Whoop board holds up. My God, if I had a hard time with BetaFPV's AIOs. As HD0 VTX. So do you have two HD0 builds now, or is that the same one? Denzel the Terrible says now a splash of color on the front of the IKEA cubes. Yeah, I usually do that, but I actually don't hate them showing up in white like this. Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna get an LED strip and run it on the back of these, and that'll make the purple paint on the wall light up a little bit better, and it's going to go over here. Similar to what I have here, this is just like a little proof of concept right here. This is like a really short little El Cheapo LED strip, but I love the way that this looks. So this is going to continue once I get the strip. I'm going to run it all the way down, all the way over, and then I'll put a connector here on the corner to hook up to this second IKEA cabinet, and then it'll come up here. I'll go up there, and then it'll go all the way down here in the back. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because look, there's like this angle here, but it should light upwards a little bit, and just give a little kick to the purple sort of paint. P. Richard Scott's coming over tonight. We're gonna paint the shit out of this back wall. I think I already said that. But yeah, look, it's kind of painted already. I threw a bunch of gray on it last night with the non-scuff guard. What? No. With the non-scuff guard paint. Look at that! 2 gray walls! Holy shit on a pancake! Isn't that just the most incredible thing you've ever seen? I stopped there because I ran out of paint. But that's okay, because that will get painted when the rest of this wall over here gets painted. See where the red stops? Yeah, so this all needs to get painted gray, and that's gonna suck because this desk is in the way. This desk is gonna have to get ripped apart. It doesn't have to, but I'm gonna take the opportunity to rip the desk apart a little bit, and then yeah, we'll paint the rest of this. And I am not happy to report that the evacuation pump has stopped working. So I am going to unplug it and plug it back in again to see if maybe I can get it going, but I do not have high hopes. I think that it's just going to continue to not work. although the problem seems to be, I could totally be wrong about this, but the problem seems to be the ball cock. The problem seems to be the floater that turns it off and on. So what I could do is remove that and just put it on a switch, and just have a switch for it that, like, if I was ultra fancy, I'd run it through the wall into the bathroom, because it is right on the other side of the bathroom. And then, like, every 2 or 3 times that the toilet gets flushed, just flip the switch to turn the pump on to pump out the shit pit. So yeah, or maybe them coming in and replacing that ball cock is not $3,000. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna unplug it and plug it back in, and that'll probably bring it back to life, if that happening, 3 weeks ago was any indication. And then if it stops working again, I'll look into getting it properly fixed. But maybe it's just being cranky. It'll fail again. Why would it not fail again? But yeah, I know what it sounds like. I know what to listen for. It's basically like every 3 toilet flushes, I need to hear that pump kick on. What makes it really easy is the check valve. When it gets done pumping, the check valve fucking wham, and like you can really hear it in the wall, like echoes through the whole house. So it's very obvious whether or not the damn thing's working. And this time, when I realized that I didn't flood the entire basement, just like a little bit of water came out from the corner. So, buy a house, they said. It'll be great, they said. It has been great. This is the game. This is the game. Denzel the Terrible. Oh, no, we got that. Justin the Guy says blew an oil cooler line towing up a mountain. Ooh. Dumped the case in a few seconds. Really, that quick? I mean, I guess. Well, yeah, of course, right? Because when the oil cooler line blew, it dumped all the oil out of the transfer case. That sucks, man. That sucks. Talha says, sorry, I meant tore off the copper pad, the part where you solder onto, you're fucked. You got to put a, what did you rip it off of? If you rip that off of a VTX, you just got to, I mean, you could maybe play this game of like finding that trace and scraping that trace, scraping the insulation, the top layer off to get to that trace, and then try to solder to that trace. But VTXs are cheap enough that I would just replace it, to be honest. Michael D says, from your Monday stream, I'm about to dive into learn gyro flow from a Mobula 7 HD 1S. Also planning on converting the Mobula 7 HD to an 85mm frame. Very cool. That'll be super fun. Hey, I meant to... so if you watch these live streams on repeat, you can still be a part of the conversation by commenting. And then on the next live stream, or whenever I remember, in this case, I will read those comments and get caught up. And I've forgotten for a couple streams in a row, so let's get caught up. I think I'm 4 behind, maybe only 3 behind. Whoop Wednesday last week. Apache Smoke Wounded Cyber says, missed the stream again, now watching it with some coffee. Holy hell, Tinylifter flies amazingly great. Curious how the others will perform. You'll find out tonight. Looked at the quad camp footage, man, that was so cool. Have fun and stay safe. Thank you, brother. Compost Pile says those U.F.Ls, so annoying that it didn't happen to me for a long time. Now 3 different cords dropped the U.F.L on me. So I've been re-crimping them, feeling like an animal. Why does everything have to break at once? Yeah, everything does seem to break at once. A Cable says, oh shoot, God, missed you rewatching now. Garter Rotor says, I slapped the Runcam Thumb Pro on stock 1S Mobula 7. It was usable, but 60% hover point. Yeah, you gotta have enough power. Yeah, they're tough to fly. When the hover point is that high, it's really rough. All right, so on to Friday fun. Massive Tinylifter success and Cinesplore fail. Did I not? Whatever. It's clickbaity. That's fine. Apache Smoke says, glad you figured out what was wrong with the Cinesplore. Which props are there on it? I prefer the Gemfan D76 5 blades. Hey, by the way, also in that Cinewhoop runtime testing that's on Patreon, the 8-blade HQ props got way less not way, but considerably less runtime than the Gemfan 5 blades. So yeah, that kind of just cements the 8 blades might be a little bit quieter, maybe. They might not be. They have a different sound. But the runtime thing is a big deal, so I'll never run those HQ8 blades again. They got significantly less runtime. Holy crap, those Tinylifters are amazing. Great footage, clean AF, stay safe. Jabby71 says, you may not have seen the message in live chat. What stack are you running on your Cinesplore? I think I did reply to this. Yeah, I did reply to this. Great question, Jabby. Doc, I need a win says, changed my 65 beta to a 75 frame and props and is so much better. I've played that game before. I do not personally agree with that. When you do that, it gets quite a bit heavier, and a heavier rig that you're going to be flying in really tight, tiny little spaces is going to be much more difficult to fly. You're going to crash more often. You're just, yeah, it's not my deal. It'll definitely make a little bit more thrust. So if like you're flying it outside, or if you don't fly like really technical stuff, if you're flying like big wide open spaces, sure, the extra thrust might be cool. But yeah, for me, tiny whoops are specifically for flying indoors, and when you're indoors, all of the, everything that personally I want to fly is small and tight, and the extra weight is just going to make that fly worse. So keep that in mind. On to Sunday Q&A. Rob Axelson says, my Tiny Hawk Freestyle on 3S is my favorite. It flies like it's on rails. Instant response. 3S? Are those meant for 3S? Jesus. Michael Dees is for the new fund. What about Camlink Fund? Currently $69.99 on Amazon. Rob Axelson says, Atlanta Seattle NFL game halted due to drone flying over field. It will affect all of us. Yeah. Bad news. We were talking about the regs a little bit, the upcoming regs a little bit on Sunday. Sleepy CBR says CL1 5-inch Rush FPV Rush Tank 2 Phoenix 2 JB camera RC and power Smooks 2306 Mamba 405 stack Gemfan 4.9s. This quad is taking a beating. It's the one I grab when I get stupid. I've had a really hard time with that CL1 frame. I would definitely suggest moving away from that CL1 frame if you can, Sleepy CBR. The Glide frame was a ton lighter, got way better flight time from the skinnier arms, way better flight performance, maybe because of the skinnier arms, and it crashed better than the CL1. The CL1 problem is that, I don't have one nearby, but the second set of front standoffs are not tied into the front arms. So when I would crash the CL1 inverted, all of that energy would go up through the GoPro, and it would just break the top plate and the base plate. And yeah, the Glide has been like, I remember when I moved to the Glide, I was like, how the hell is this thing 50 grams lighter and more durable? Like, that's crazy. And it's just, frame design. The CL1 frame design is just kind of flawed. So yeah, if you get sick of breaking base plates on that frame, although I guess if you're not carrying around a GoPro, you wouldn't have energy going into that same area. So you might be okay if you're not carrying a GoPro around. But if you do want to put an external, HD camera on there, you're going to start having that issue. So at that point, I would get away from that frame. But yeah, otherwise that build sounds awesome. Those RC and power motors are supposedly some of the best. I love those Gemfan 4.9s. Don't know much about the Mamba stacks, but if you're saying the quad's taking a beating, then that speaks well for that stack. So that's awesome, brother. And then Monday giveaways stream. Apache says, great live stream that I missed again. Watching the rerun, installing the W2F OSD on my Vista and V2 goggles. Very cool. Stepdaughter is the same, always eating. Stay safe. Thank you, brother. Michael D says, about to dive in and learn gyroflow. Mob7 HD has the option to use it. How? Mob7 HD. How's that going to use it? Well, I guess you just log the entire time. Does that have black box on it? The Mobula 7 has black box? If so, that's great. That's really slick. That's thank God for getting black box on these Cinewhoop AIOs. And the last comment is Vern Calc. Thank you, CiottiFPV. As you know, I'm in the UK and can't watch live, but I get to have my breakfast and watch the show. Makes my day great when I win. LOL, thanks, man. Yeah, Vern, I shot you a message on Patreon, and I said, hey, I don't ship overseas anymore because stamps.com just keeps getting shit returned. What's your PayPal so I can send you the value of this stuff and you can buy whatever you want. That's how it works. When somebody wins and they're overseas, I just PayPal them. I just look at what I would have sent them and put it in a shopping cart, and I just PayPal them that amount. So if they really want, they can buy that same stuff, or they can get something that they want even more. So yeah, Vern, hit me up and with your PayPal, and I'll shoot it on over. Almac FPV says, what's up? Michael D says, the Mob6 HD has black box installed on it. Very cool. I'll be damned. That makes that a pretty desirable AIO, to be honest. And that AIO is slimmed down. Oh, Alec Dvornik is currently riding out Hurricane Ian. Is it like blowing shit around already? I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, so it's not really going to come up this way. I mean, even when hurricanes do come up this way, they've already dumped all of their energy on the coast. So I don't really pay any attention to the weather anymore. When I was in Charleston, on the other hand, I paid very close attention to the weather because pretty much 2 times a year, every year, I would have to pack all my most valuable shit into my car and drive hours and hours and hours inland and stay with friends while hopefully everything else that I owned wasn't flooded and blown away forever. I do not miss that. I really do not miss that, even a little bit. Man, I need to get used to sitting over farther on the desk here. Actually, I need to just move shit on the desk. Oh, I can actually do that now. Now that this light is on the floor, I can move everything over a little bit, can't I? Oh, yeah, I can. Look at me. Ooh, yeah, I got a bunch of room now. Oh, that's going to make this get all jacked up, though. That's going to jack this off. I don't want that. Bench cam has moved over. But yeah, now I gotta... Ah! Cinewhoop gates are up. Ah! Knocked it down. Alright. Let's fire up these Tinylifters and get to tuning. What do you say, friends? Let me move this out of the way because we are going to be flying around. And... okay, this should be fine. This should be fine. Yo, look at this. You guys get to see this before Patrick does. I got him a shirt from Blipshift. He used to have a CTSV that he sold for the Tesla, and Blipshift had this shirt available the other day. So that's the CTSV wagon, which I swear to God, if it takes me the next 100 years, I will convince him to get a CTSV wagon. Or shit, I wish I could afford one. But yeah, so that's the wagon version of his, which, I mean, homeboy needs. He's got 2 kids and a family. If you got 2 kids and a family, although he has a pickup truck, so I guess he doesn't need it. But I guess I should try to convince him to sell the pickup truck and replace it with a CTSV wagon. I guess that's the move. Hopefully he's not listening right now. He's probably listening right now. God damn it, I just spoiled the surprise. Hopefully he didn't see it though. He's maybe just listening while driving. Kiz Bartlett says, I was meant to say thanks for the PayPal as I'm overseas. That went towards swapping out. That all went towards swapping out my Whoop to BT 2.0, which I love. Kiz, did you just win? Did you win a couple weeks? Did you win like last month, I think? Michael D says, Mob6 7HD is the same X12 board. Happy Model also installed. Black box on it. Extra weight is cool. To also have a black box board installed. What do you mean? Mob6 7 HD is the same X12 board. Same as... oh. Wait. Does the X12 have black box? No. No. Hold on. Did I not know that that has black box on it? No, it does not. It does not. I didn't think so. I was gonna say, Jesus. What the Happy Model HD0 board. So what I was getting at a second ago, the HD0 board has is cut down a little bit, cut a little bit more narrow, and I think that it'll fit in the Meteor 65 Pro frame with the bigger propellers, and that's pretty cool because although, you know what? Oh, it's an extra board? What? What is that about? Hold on, let me get caught up on chat properly. Every single chat comment has tagged me for the last, like, 10 comments. Look at, this is what I see. This is what I see. I'm not going to be able to show it to you guys. Yeah, there it is. All right, hold on. Hold on. Andrew S says Neutron RC 1S has 16 megabyte black box, only available on Newbie Drone. Can't speak to quality, but just finished a build with the Newbie Drone Silver. What's Neutron RC? Oh, I feel like I've heard of Neutron RC. Somebody was telling me about Neutron RC. Let's search for Neutron RC AIO. Here we go. Look at that. I think somebody was telling me about this board. Wow, black box on board and motor plugs and Express LRS and a VTX? Wait a second. What? Hold up. Hold on. Hold on. Is this real life? I don't know if this will fit in the in that Meteor frame. The Meteor frame, I don't think this would fit in that Meteor frame, but that's it was. Yeah, it was you, Andrew. Awesome. I'll be damned. This is fine that it won't fit that Meteor 65 Pro frame. If the Meteor 65 Pro frame, I would be more interested in if there was a bi-blade propeller for that. At the moment, there's only a tri-blade propeller available, so that rules out an 0702. So now you got to do an 0802, and I don't think that an 0802 is going to have quite enough grunt for that bigger tri-blade propeller. So yeah, that 65 Pro frame is kind of specific to the Mobula 6 HD0 for that board. This board, though, this is potentially the one, because ELRS, VTX, regular motor plugs, and this is cut down a little bit, so it should be a little bit lighter than the Happy Model board. Man, that's pretty slick. External. Oh, okay. It does not have a VTX built in. Okay, this is an IPX1 plug. It looks like, and that's for Express LRS, which makes sense. It's right next to the ceramic antenna. I remember you saying that, Andrew. Yeah, very interesting board. But the fact that it doesn't have I was gonna say, how the fucking hell did they slim the board down like this and get all that stuff on there? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it should have video in, video. Yeah, here's the video in, video out stuff. Yeah, I have not figured out a great way of mounting an external VTX on Cinewhoops. Plus, you sacrifice a bunch of weight. The weight that they saved from cutting the board out, you're going to add that weight and more by putting an external VTX on there. And it's yeah. So I'm gonna stick with the modular boards, but this is a really interesting board. Neutron RC, very cool. 5 amp FETs, that kind of sucks. I'd prefer the 11s or 12s or whatever the hell it is, but the 5 amps work. They don't work forever, but they do work. Very cool. Thanks for bringing that up during a stream, Andrew, so we could take a look at it. Alec Dvornik says, I'm in Orlando, so the storm will die down before it gets to me, but the west coast of Florida is getting hit hard. Jesus. Kiz Bartlett says, I won a couple months ago as a backup winner, but then they claimed it, then I won last month, thanks to Denzel the Terrible. Nice. Well, you won again this last Monday night, Kiz. So, yeah, you got a Patreon message waiting for you. Michael D says, no, is an extra board installed on the Mobula 7 HD. Ah, okay. Okay, got it. So the Mobula 7 has an extra board, almost like an open logger. Interesting. Metal Nerdson says, you tried that pinch cam and pound mount that Cinewhoop sells. I did. I may give it a go on my 0702 build. I didn't. I tried the pinch cam. I didn't try the pound mount, I don't think. I tried the older mount. It was good, but that style of camera and mount, I just don't think it'll work for me for a durability standpoint. I really prefer the Mobula 6 canopy. It's just so tough. Hi. Hey, let's get to tuning. It's 15 after 7. Okay. Oh my god. I almost had a meltdown on BotGrinder's review edit of his new frame. He mispronounced Tommy's name over and over and over again. He mispronounced it the same way that Michael did. He pronounced it "oh my god" instead of "oh my god." And man, it's for some reason it just bugs the shit out of me when people pronounce it that way. And I was like, oh, I had to fast forward when he would do it, but then he wouldn't do it again, but then he would do it again. So it didn't really work all that well. Where the fuck are my goggles? Ah! They're over here in my bag of things that I bring with me when I go fly. Go figure. All right, let's get these Tinylifters tuned, friends. We're gonna start off with the 10,000 kV one on the Newbie Drone Flow 1102 10,000s at 100% motor output limiting, because this one seems to be the best of these. It's hard to tell so far though, but having a proper KV motor and being able to run it at 100%. These other ones are on these BetaFPV 1102 18,000 kV motors, and then I've got a motor scaled way the hell down. And yeah, you don't want to motor limit. You want to try to not motor limit below 60% if possible. Michael D says, I could be wrong, but I think Meteor 65 Pro frame requires a slim, cross-shaped flight controller to fit 35mm props. Correct. And that is the exact shape of the flight controller in the Mobula 6 HD0, which is why we were kind of talking about that. Bannister Post is in the house. What's up, dude? I haven't seen you in a while. Glad to have you back. He says, what do you think about his frame and motors? Same as everything or more durable? Who's his, Bannister? Who, when you say his frame and motors, who we talking about here? Mutterdertson says, thank you for that. I'm going to look for Craig Jordan's post. Craig Jordan's post says, what prop and motor would you recommend for GEPRC 2.5? I'm using Foxy or Reaper V2. It depends on, like, what you're doing with it. Like, are you gonna fly it like a Cinewhoop? Are you gonna build a freestyle rig? Is it for long range? All of those things require different prop and motor combos. So, yeah. Okay. Here we go with the Insta360 GO2. This is how, just in case you guys... Oh boy, I moved the workbench and now everything is shifted. All is lost. Alright. This mat's getting dirty. I gotta clean this thing. Is that better? Nope. Still needs to go over farther. Looks ridiculous that way. Actually, what I need to do is move this over with these tools on it. That's the problem. There we go. Okay. That's looking a little bit better. Oh, that's going to annoy me. So, the Tinylifters have these TPU loops on the top. And you take their little Insta360 GO2 and you just slide it on in there. And it like always hits the button, so you hit the button a second time to stop it from recording. And then you just got to kind of scooch it around a little bit. It's not always like dead straight, so you got to just kind of look at it from the top and just give it a little scoochie goochie goo. Move it over, and there you go. And now you've got your ultra fat Tinylifter. When you hold this thing, it's like you kind of have to hold it by this. Like all the weight is up here. It's the worst. You can really tell how bad the CG is when you hold it. Like it always wants to fall over in the direction of the Insta360 GO2. It's kind of wild. But it flies surprisingly well for having such a jacked up center of gravity. And I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. Get over there. There we go. Okay. All right, so that's what it looks like. Let's come over here. And hey, look at that, it's working. All right, so let me put a couple, and then here's how the batteries mount. I've never shown you that. Bulldog FPV says, what would be your ideal weight for a 2-inch 2S analog? I mean, it's me personally, probably like 200-ish grams, but I like rigs with a ton of throw. Most people would vomit at the thought of that. So yeah, if you're asking me personally, that would be my answer. But with all the rigs that I build, I'm trying to emulate the 5-inch experience. So with micros, unfortunately what that means is that I have to build them heavier than most people. And you end up with something that loses elevation a little bit quicker, but does have a little bit more horizontal fling. It's always a little bit of and this is a very personal sort of decision, right? Like everybody has a different amount of throw and float in mind. So yeah, you want to kind of dial that in. That's how the batteries go on there. Isn't that slick? Just both drop right in there. So yeah, my recommendation is to make that decision with your own tastes and your own likes in mind, and kind of dial that in on your side, so that you have something that you like the way it flies, rather than having something that I like the way it flies. But if you're trying to do the same thing as me, and have all of your rigs fly as close as possible to a 5-inch freestyle rig, then there you go. Bannister, what? Oh, bot stuff. What do I think about his frame and motors? Same as everything or more durable? The frame, I can almost guarantee you, is going to be more durable. His motors, I think, are made by TBS, and TBS has a really nasty reputation for making very fragile motors. I have not heard that his motors are fragile. What the hell's going on here? Why is that? Oh, it's because I haven't armed it yet. Come on, you little jerk. What's happening? Oh, I left it plugged in for too long, and it went into Wi-Fi mode. So yeah, his frame, I'm all about it. His motors, nah, not so much. Just because they're made by TBS. maybe they're totally fine. But yeah, I've heard lots and lots and lots of complaints about TBS motors. There we go. Arm and low power until first arm is on, and these newbie drone boards will power all the way down to like 5 milliwatts. So yeah. All right, let's get to tuning, friends. So we'll do a couple of flips and rolls with the current tune, and then we'll land it and go into the OSD and get it dialed in. Let me also take a look at the hover point. Hover point is roughly 40%, so we are going to dial the Expo, and I think the Expo is somewhat dialed in already. So this is on the GemFan Tri-Blades, by the way, and here we go. So there's a little bobble on roll. Not too bad, though. Seems to be less of a bobble on pitch. Nah, about the same amount. About the same amount. So, and then yaw is always like super crisp on the tiny whoops. All right, so we're gonna go into profile, and nowadays we can go into simplified tuning, and I've already got the D-Gains turned up to 1.2. I don't really want to go that much higher there. P and I gains are still at 1.0. Feed forward is there. I'm actually gonna pull the feed forward down just because I don't like it. DMax is at 1.1. Let's move the DMax up to 1.2. That could help a little bit. IGains are down at 1.8. That's fine. Pitch and roll D are turned down a little bit. That's interesting. I wonder why I did that. Whatever. Master multiplier is only at 1.2. So let's move that up to 1.4. We've increased the PID gains pretty significantly, so we might be at a point where it's overactive. And we can tell that at 0 throttle. So you can already hear. All right, so listen really carefully to when I zero the throttle out. I'm going to stab the throttle, and then I'm going to chop it to 0 very quickly. And then I want you guys to listen. What I want you to listen for is how quickly or slowly the RPM returns back down to idle. And then I'm going to change and then I'm going to pull some PID authority out of it. Ready? So this is with what I'm going to tell. Yeah, you'll hear. Listen to the difference. Ready? All right. And now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take a bunch of PID authority out of it by bringing this down to 1.1 on the master multiplier. This is going to pull everything down all at once. Now listen. Can you hear how much quicker it returns to idle with the PID gains pulled down a little bit? Also, you can tell when it's on the ground. Ready? Listen to it when it's on the ground. Well, you're not going to be able to hear it. All right, listen to it when it's just idling on the ground. See how it spins down, right? And now listen right now. Move it closer to the mic. All right, hear that? Now listen. I'm gonna push the PID gains back up. This is really important. Mark Spatz recently called this the flutter point that we're playing around with here. So let's go up. Let's go all the way up to 1.5. Listen to the difference. Hear how it's more active now? And when we were doing the throttle chops, it was returning to 0 throttle more slowly. See, now it's on its side. Hear it? Hear how active it is on its side? It just chilled out. Hear it there? Hear how it's more active and then it chills out? Watch this. We're getting close to being over the edge, over the limit on the tune. Let's go down to 1.1. I'll do the same thing. See how it's chilled out the whole time? Hear how it calms itself back down a lot quicker? This is the kind of stuff that you need to be very sensitive to when you're tuning without black box. This is how you tune without black box right here, is you listen for these little subtle things like this. Let's go up to 1.4 on the master multiplier. That is a little bit, that's probably like at the edge. Hear how it's just more active? It's just more like it's about to freak out, but not quite. Oh boy, I freaked out pretty good there. That's probably because I just tipped it over a little bit too aggressively. Let's tip it over again. All right, let's tip it back over again. See, now it's coming back down pretty quickly now. But it still has that split second where it's kind of overactive. So it's a little bit of a balancing game. If we want the throttle to come down and for it to be a little bit more reliable, we can run the master multiplier lower. But let's see what the flight performance difference is. The batteries are dead. Still has a bobble. But that was clean. On pitch, that was very clean. So let's get another couple batteries on it, and we'll keep the tune going. So yeah, this is how you tune without black box, friends. Like, you got to look out for and listen out for these little subtle things that are going to let you know how close to the edge your tune and your build is. The next thing I'm going to take a look at, we're actually going to plug this in and look at the filtering in Betaflight, because the PIDs and the filters kind of work with/against each other. If I need more PID authority, sometimes what I can do is add some extra filtering, and that will give me a little bit of a cleaner signal going into the PID loop, which will allow me to push the PID tune up. What you got to be careful of, though, is that when you add more filtering, you add more latency and more delay, and that makes it handle prop wash a little bit worse. So it's a little bit of a balancing act. But let's take a quick look at where the filters are at right now. So the D-term filter, man, the D-term filter is pretty low. 1.05, that's pretty low there. So the D-term is filtering very hard. The gyro filtering being up this high doesn't really mean much. It doesn't really do much. Let's take a look down here. We've got 3 gyro filters. That's fine. We've actually got 2 dynamic notches. So this is doing a lot of filtering here. Kiz, you're right. It wasn't you. I'm sorry. Another trucking FPV channel says, can you recommend a nano micro race wire, or would DOI be my best bet? Latest possible start off. Flywoo, another trucking. Flywoo has the micro race wires that you need. They've got a bunch of different sizes. To hit Flywoo's website and search for race wire, they've got what you want. All right, so I don't really think that I can add... This filtering is aggressive enough where if I add any more filtering, I'm probably going to be getting into this area of adding too much latency. So this is probably about it in terms of where the filters need to be. I always prefer to have more filtering, which will allow me to have more PID gains. Let's take a look. Throttle midpoint is at 0.4. That's good for the throttle expo, and I've got 0.3 for throttle expo, so that's good. I'm starting to move my center stick sensitivity up a little bit, so let me just throw that in while I'm in here. So yeah, I don't really think I'm gonna add any filtering. I mean, I'm actually tempted to remove some filtering, because sometimes with Cinewhoops you already have too much filtering and you can get away with removing it. But let's actually just leave it alone for the time being. Let me look in here to see if there's anything that I can do. So the I-term relax, let's move that up to 10. I had it all the way down to 5, but it probably doesn't need to be quite that low. Let's also move let's move it to increment only. Brandon has said some great things about that. I kind of understood what I read on GitHub about it, but not really. Yeah, it's already pretty weird, Brandon. The Dgains are already at 1.2. And I think that the bounce back is P gain related. Typically it is when your center of gravity is all jacked up, so I don't want to just keep pouring Dgain on. I want to pour P gain and Dgain on, which is where we're kind of at with the master at 1.4. That on the pitch axis, it looked really good. If I'm honest, that might be, you know what? That's why I pulled this pitch damping down a little bit, because the pitch axis is performing better than the roll axis. I think that's because the Insta360 Go is wide, so the Insta360 Go is adding extra weight on the roll axis rather than the pitch axis. So, you know, I think this thing is about where it's gonna be. I think this is pretty much in its little happy spot. Dynamic idle is 30. I can maybe chase the dragon by No, I'm not going to chase the dragon with the dynamic idle because I already saw one of the motors stall out. Yeah, I think this is about it. I can try moving the DMax up a little bit to 1.4. Nah, that's a bit much. I'm going to leave the DMax at 1.2. Yeah, I think this is it, man. I think this is about where I want it to be. Let's put a fresh battery in and see how it is. Those last flips and rolls were on a pretty dead battery. Let's get a fresh... And here also, I'm doing this tuning on these BetaFPV 260s. Once I put this thing on... These are rolled cell batteries. Once I put this rig on folded cell batteries, it's going to get a little bit better. So... yeah, let's put another couple of these batteries on and we'll do some fresh battery flips and rolls and see what's what. All right, so we got one in here and come on, get in there. Come on. There we go. All right, we got one, and here comes number 2. That's right, I said it. Number 2, as in poops. I'm not even running the Insta360 Go. It's just up there as a dead weight. All right, here we go. And the VTX signal will improve in a second when I arm it. There we go. All right, so let's see what's up. Bannister Post says, do you tune the ESC settings much? Absolutely not. Chris Rosser did some really good ESC testing and basically found that the stock ESC settings are pretty much what you want. This is on Blue Jay. Blue Jay does seem to help a little bit, but maybe not. So I'm just, again, giving a little listen here. Idle when it's on the ground. And it seems pretty clean. It's I can tell it's on the brink of being a little angry. All right, so let's get a roll on here. Much better than last time, than the last set of batteries. Let's try pitch. Pitch is damn near perfect. Oh boy. So yeah, it could maybe use a little bit more roll authority. Oh, that was clean, though. That was clean. I'm going to leave it here. It's not a freestyle rig. It's a cinematic rig. And, yeah, we'll see how the other ones tune. Man, it is so hard to fly accurately. Let's give it a little bit of a flight, though. Man, I will say, it is easier to fly up these stairs now that the tune is a little bit better. You guys are probably losing video. But hopefully you can see something in the video. Oh, wow, even Rapid Fire's having a hard time. The VTXs on these newbie drone boards are not great. Let me actually, I need to see what the stream looks like with it up here. It's rolling and shit. Yeah, all right. I just can't fly these newbie drones. Well, hold on. Let's see. Features, VTX. Is it cranked all the way up? It's not. Let's do that. Maybe that'll be a little better. Is that any better? Can you guys tell a difference? 3.5 on the battery. Also, with these tiny lifters, you got to really over discharge the battery. Like this battery being at like 3.4 now, like it's still got a bunch of life left. You'll see it like bounce back like crazy. It just sag, and these little rolled cells are particularly bad. God damn it. Yeah, the 360 GO2 is also so heavy that it almost won't turtle mode back over, which is kind of scary. How'd you do with that little crash, buddy? You did good. Thank you for not breaking. The durability of these little things sort of remains to be seen. I have not had good luck, but it doesn't seem to be that bad. Let's keep going. I want to get an idea of flight times on these rigs. There we go. So there's a low battery warning. Oh boy. Alright, so there we go. Now it's time to come home. Not bad though. 2 minutes and 40. And I did a bunch of full throttle shit in there too. And it's actually still good. Nah, now it's done. 250, almost 3 minutes. And that's on the Gemfan tri-blades. So there we go. There's a tune on the Newbie Drone Flow 1102 10,000 kV setup. Now we're going to move over to the... Well, so let's go over to the PH 2.0 setup. Yo! Look at this fucking guy coming in hot with some Destructo material.
Get the hell out of here.
Look what this guy has in his hand. Show the people.
I was going to run it, but you caught me.
Show the people. How did I catch you? What got caught?
Hey, I heard you were talking about your Pumas there, you gangly fuck.
Oh, dude, they're the
they're
the shit.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Where's Chat?
Death
What's up,
machine. Time to die.
Halloween.
Yo, check this shit out. I can't wait.
I love all your gates. You need multiple cameras for the people.
I can't wait. I can't wait till after the stream, bro. There it is.
Good. This looks good.
Now you have a shirt.
Oh my God! Look at this.
You have to buy it. You have to get a CTSV wagon now. You have the shirt. You can't be a poser.
Man,
you got to get one.
Ever since that movie, I had the wrong one.
You know, now that you don't have the juice shop, technically you can get rid of the pickup truck and just get you one of them.
You know, you're right. There's nothing left to haul around.
There's nothing.
So
all right,
smart.
so we're gonna move over because you know good and goddamn well that a CTSV wagon is gonna be more fun to own than a dirty redneck pickup truck.
Their new Blackwing V is sickness. It'll be the last one. This is it.
They're not gonna make it in a wagon though, right?
No.
Yeah, you got, dude. If I had the money, I shit you not, I would buy one of those CTSV wagons.
Yeah, they're probably 30 grand now.
They probably are.
My coupe
probably
for
are.
30.
Right.
So, I mean, I bet you could find a nice low mileage lovely for like 28 even, you know? 25.
PH 2.0 time, friends.
Oh shit.
And we're going to a folded cell battery.
We'll go grab some ice. Liquor down here somewhere?
Yep. No, it's actually upstairs next to the fridge. To the left. Ask Sage. So now we're on to PH 2.0. You guys will not believe the hit that we're going to take on runtime, even though we're going to a folded cell battery rather than a rolled cell. But all that being said, this rig still does fly decent. It's just I can really tell the difference between PH 2.0 and BT 2.0. Get out of there, little connectors! Come on, get out of there! Get out of there! There they are. All right, going over to PH 2.0. Just because I didn't have an extra BT 2.0, and I was curious. I haven't I haven't had the chance to head PH and BT 2.0 like this in a while. Get in there. There we go. All right, so there's one. Get that guy plugged in here. Of course, I put it in there wrong. Brandon says, with that black box, you can lower I-term relax a crazy amount, and if you get bounce back still, it's probably needing more D-term. Ooh, that's a really good idea. But then put the I-term relax back to something like 10 after. I love that idea, Brandon. We're going to do that on this one. I'm going to go right into the menu and dump that I-term relax down. I forgot about that trick. That's a great trick. All right, here we go. PH 2.0, BetaFPV 1102, 18,000s, motor scaled way the hell down. Everything else is pretty much the same on this rig. And putting the Insta360 GO2 in here. Of course, it starts recording when I don't want it to. And all right, here we go. So this is again on a soft tune. We're gonna tighten that up. Oh man, is this thing still on? Jesus, the VTX power is really having an issue. Oh my God. VTXs on these things are just brutal. Is it plugged in? It's plugged in.
I forgot the water last time. It's whiskey, water.
Right. All right. I don't know why the VTX on this one is so bad, but you guys are just going to have to suffer. I apologize. So let's see where the tune's at now.
Look at that
Heavy lift, baby.
Look at that thing.
Big soft bounce. Ooh, Duke.
God wants it. I know you want it. You can't have it.
Oh boy.
Woo! Almost got whiskey fied.
All right, so that
14 Pro, bro, it's crazy.
What? The GoPro?
No, the new iPhone.
Ooh, big soft bounce. I've heard. Did you get it?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch, you. So big soft bounce. Let's get into the OSD, and we're gonna. Oh, that was actually it shutting off. I don't know what that was about. Might be overheating, would be my guess. But let's move forward with the tune. Dgains are already up at 1.2. Let's move them up to 1.3.
Throttle Expo.
Throttle Expo, I need to dive into. We'll do that in Betaflight. Feed forward, let's move it down to 0.8. P&I gains, no, that's good, that's good. All right, let's get this master multiplier up. Let's move it up to 1.4. This is going to be similar to what we did on the other one. This is also on the Gemfan tri-blade, so this is probably going to end up being very similar. We'll move the DMax up as well. So look at the batteries bounce back. They bounced all the way back to 4.0, and now when I get it up in the air, they dump all the way down to 3.5. Did Duke run away?
I don't know what that dog did.
All right, let's try it again. Really nice on the pitch. No bobble at all there. Let's try roll. Wow, really nice on roll too. Let's try Brandon's trick, and we're going to dump the IGain all the way down. We'll see if that affects... Oops, no, we want to go in here. Dump the IGain down, see if that affects it. All right, we'll take it all the way out. And... wow, it's hard to fly with that IGain. Jesus, I forgot about how hard it is to fly with that IGain. Holy Christ. Okay, here we go. Let's try it. So we do have a little bobble on pitch. But roll looks totally fine. Let's do pitch one more time. Nah, pitch looks pretty good. So what that tells us is that the bounce back is not coming from the IGain, which is great. That's kind of what we want. So now we're going to move the IGain back up to where it was. This tune is pretty good. Let's get it into bit. I think this battery is pretty much shot. These batteries, I should say. And let's do that same test on the desk here at idle. All right. Nice and smooth. Let's put it on its side. Comes right down to idle. This, I gotta be honest, this is actually doing better than the Newbie Drone Flow rig. This is a little bit cleaner. Comes right back down to idle. Yeah, I may be able to push this one a little farther. Let's get these batteries off of it, and then in Betaflight, we're going to push it a little farther.
Fuck you,
Man, the VTX is really bad, though. Is it rolling for you guys? Michael D says, I think this is the same rig that had VTX issues and was rolling real bad. Did you ever get the VTX table imported onto it? On these Newbie Drone boards, I don't think they really use the VTX table. I think it's all baked into the hex. But let's take a look at that. That's actually a good thought. All right, so... Come on, there it is. Okay. We are plugged in. And, Jesus. VTX is a mask slot to horizontal lines. What the fuck?
So easy to get those light switches now.
I know, right? move that shelf out. Video transmitter. Now there is a VTX table. This is the right VTX table, though. I know because it says 550 and 120. So this is the correct VTX table. It just must be an issue with this AIO. I know that Newbie Drone has been having trouble with the VTXs on these V3 boards. I think this rig has the new AIO on it, though. Let me check something. Status. Configured max table. No, it's version. No, this is not. This is not the new one. The new one is it says HD on the version. It says H something. So that'll be the next rig that we look at. Upcoming calendar event. What? In 10 minutes. What is it? What is it? Joshua Bardwell call. What? No. What? What the hell's going on, calendar? Oh, it's my live stream event. From the old live stream. Time slot. So, okay. In the PID tuning, let's take a quick look. Well, damn it. I'm going to go right back into the CLI. I want to make sure that it's got the PID sum set right. Get PID sum. Yep, PID sum is maxed out, so that's good. Let's jump into the PID tab. We're going to push this a little bit further. And because it's clean at idle. So I also want to take a look at the motor output limit. So look, the motor output limit is at 65%. Let's actually move that to 70%. That's going to basically give us more PID authority. It's also going to give us more power. And we'll see how that goes. I've already got the iTerm relax all the way down to a cutoff of 5. Let's move it up to a cutoff of 10. And let's move it to increment only on the roll pitch for iTerm relax. I've given up on it. I mean, unless you want to go in on moving that thing, but it seemed like a pain in the ass last time. Master multiplier, let's leave it at 1.4 because I gave it some extra chutzpah with the motor output limit. June Loco says, can you explain D-Shot? Not really.
D-Shot.
I mean...
Did you say D-Shot?
Yeah.
Well, if you had what was it, PPM before?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Old heads know D-Shot as like a huge decrease in latency and a lot more performance, but it's basically the digital protocol that allows the ESC to talk to the flight controller.
Where it used to be analog.
Whereas it used to be analog. What are you looking for from an explanation from it, June Loco? Just like sort of you want to have the knowledge, or you got something going on? Dynamic damping is up at 1.3. P&I gains are at a 1. That's fine. Stick response I got turned down a little bit. Dynamic damping DMax 1.2. Drift wobble 0.8. And then the pitch damping is turned down a little bit because this setup, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to need as much. Move the center sensitivity up, just because I've been doing that lately. Throttle midpoint is at 0.4, 0.3 expo. That's good. And then filter settings should be the same on this rig, and they are. So, yeah. Well, let's do this. On this rig, let's move the dynamic notch down to 1. One single dynamic notch, because this thing does seem to be a little bit quieter. That was a lot of changes to make. I'll be interested if it's as quiet or if now all of a sudden it gets more noisy. It would not surprise me if it was a little bit more noisy now. But let's find out. Not usually a great idea to make 15 changes at a time like I just did, but I've been doing this long enough that I can sometimes tell when I do that which one of the changes is why it's now flying like shit. Yeah, exactly. But not always. Not always. I just don't want to take the time to do them one by one by one. Yo, that evacuation pump shit the bed again.
No, it didn't.
By the way, so don't use that sink in there.
Oh, it's like that.
You can use the sink in there, just don't let the water run for 10 minutes because it'll flood the basement. Or it'll flood the garage, rather.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's see how it is. Yeah, see, so it's noticeably more angry now.
Find me.
Man, that VTX is really struggling. Jesus. It's still... I think it might still be okay, though. Let's see. Yeah, it comes down... It comes down to idle pretty quick. So let's leave it. Let's do a couple flips and rolls. Wait till you see the runtime, though. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, that's performing well. So let's just fly it around. And see what's what. See what the runtime looks like. See if I can tell it performing any different. I'm tempted to say that it actually might feel a little bit better. Which would make sense. There's significantly more, or I'm just getting used to it. Actually, it's more, it makes more sense that I'm just getting used to it. Then, because we didn't push the PID tune that far. Look at the low battery warning. I'm already getting at 1:35. This is literally half the run. No, not quite half, but we'll see once the... Yeah, now we're getting a constant low battery. 1:44. No, it's not constant yet. Oh, God. 1:44 instead of 3 minutes is pretty damning to PH 2.0. Now it's a constant low battery warning. So 2 minutes, just a shade over 2 minutes versus 3 minutes. BT 2.0, friends, do it, or else you'll have short run times. But this this tune is good to go, which is pretty awesome. What's that? Is it? Yeah, I mean, or not. I ran out of paint.
You got more paint.
I got a bunch more now, but I mean, if it doesn't get painted, like it can get painted with this side, you know,
yeah,
over
that
here.
Might actually be a good carryover. Break it up a little.
Yeah.
Where do you want to break it? Here, or here, or in the middle?
I mean, I'm going to use the same paint, so
We're gonna do the same color.
yeah, same color.
Oh, I see.
So it'll disappear, right?
Well, yeah, since that'll be a while, let's go ahead and fucking paint.
Yeah. Plus, there's all that shit in the corner. I was like, whatever. All right, cool. So last rig is on Biblades. Bugs FPV says I burned off the R1 pad on my AIO. Can I use the R2 pad without having to change anything? No. You will have to change something in the ports tab, but it's super easy. You just take whatever the ports tab says for UART1 and change it to UART2. What does burned off mean? How did it? You mean it burned off, or like you said you burned it off? It's almost. It feels like you did it on purpose. I doubt you did it on purpose. Jesus, chat is blowing up. Michael D says check that smart audio is on in the ports tab. I think I made changes within the VTX, but it's worth plugging in real quick. Also, I did a diff and a dump onto these, so there should not be anything missing, but it is worth a quick look. Smart audio is not on in there, but it said that because of the way that the newbie drone stuff works, it doesn't use it, I don't think. See, it says device ready, yes. So yeah, it's good. The VTX table's working. It's just, I mean, I guess maybe this antenna is jacked up. But I don't need 3 of these things, and I only have 3 of them just for testing. So the fact that one of them is having VTX problems is really not really the end of the world. But I will at some point here try changing out that antenna. That antenna.
Yeah. Which one are you?
Which camp are you in? Time for the black Tinylifter, and I want to check. Much less of a grower. Let's go into the PID tab and take a look at the motor output. Oh yeah, see the motor output is way too low. It's down at 65. Let's get this at least up to 70 because I do have it on the bi-blades. And let's leave everything else alone. All right, leave everything else. And wait, did I save it? Yeah, I saved it. Disconnect. And let's just put it up in the air as it is, and we'll see how much better we can make it. What else? June Logo says, I flashed to 4.3.1 and now D-Shot is disabled, wondering if D-Shot 600 or 300, which is better. 600 is always better, but sometimes the flight controller can't handle that. If you've got an F7 flight controller, you should be totally fine. If you have an F4 flight controller, you're in Dangersville. You might only be able to do D-Shot 300. Yeah, when you do a fresh flash, it always disables that. Well, not always. I guess that's a newer thing. But yeah, D-Shot 300 for F4s, D-Shot 600 for F7s is the rough rule of thumb. Sometimes with an F4, you can run D-Shot 600. In my opinion, it's not worth it. Just do 300. The performance benefit is very, very small. Craig Jordan says, what prop and motor would you recommend for GEPRC? I already answered that, Craig. Did you ask it last time and then leave, or is there another part of the question that I didn't answer properly? All right, here we go. Wow, the VTX. Oh wait, no, hold on. It's because it's on low power for first arm. Hold on, let's get into here and kick it up to 120. Man, that does not make it much better.
Phone's always on, man.
Say again?
It's always on.
What?
The phone.
What phone?
The screen stays lit.
What?
Yeah, the whole time. It's freaky. It goes real dim, but it stays on.
What? What is that about? Wow.
Look at it. It's pretty.
The hover point is extremely low on this rig. What is happening?
All that stuff. There's no camera on it.
Oh, that would explain it.
I helped.
Yeah, I would have flown this whole battery and been like, holy shit! Bi-blades forever, friends. They're definitely better. I knew it. I'm the genius. All right.
Check out my DVR footage.
All right. So this is on the Gem Fan Bi-blades. Oh, that's much more normal. The hover point is still a little bit low. What the fuck? Bi-blades, yo. Forever. 36, 37, 38. Although maybe 35, 34. Jesus.
A lot lighter than the motor, third, right?
Yeah, much louder though. Big difference in, let's see how the tune is. Jesus, what? Okay. So,
Happy.
anybody in chat know why that's what? So this is the same tune that those other two rigs had on the first set of batteries. Anybody in chat know why the tune is better on this rig? We got a little bounce there. Whoa! That was weird. So see, it will turtle mode.
I got you.
What is happening with the camera? Did the camera sneak out?
Yeah, a little bit.
Did it totally pull out of one of the little TPU loops?
Not totally, but it was ready.
It was trying to come out. Okay, cool. We also got that core temperature warning, which is a little weird. Oh boy!
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's.
I usually don't scare that easily, but that one was scary.
They make quite the noise.
It's by your computer.
Where'd you go, you little fuck? Oh, it's right by my feet. Yeah, so this this little camera, this set of TPU loops does not hold the Insta360 Go nearly
Is it?
as properly. It is, although there's another can that's already open that's good to go.
This one's all dirty and shit.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one. There's a fresh can
Is it shaking or stirred?
behind you, right?
Yeah, I see that one.
All right, there should be a bunch of stir sticks.
You ran out of paint.
They're gonna be very separated. I had to stir the shit out of the other one. Let's get the ESC cooled down a little bit here before we go pushing it. Yeah, they hate to hit these gates, these tiny lifters. What I will say is, this is a lot harder to fly on these bi-blades. It is not tracking. It's definitely more slidey. Like, you guys can probably see it in how I'm flying. All right, so we got that heat issue under control. Let's really quickly push the PIDs a little bit. We're just going to push the master multiplier up to 1.3. Ah, shitters, I didn't save it. My God, this makes tuning so much easier. I was not, like, a fan of the sliders at first, but I have come around. Man, yeah, this rig flies way better from a tuning perspective. Chat, who can tell me why the softer tune flies better on this rig? We talk about this all the time. Alec Dvornik says, did you learn to tune over countless cycles of try and error? Yep. Or did you start with any resources? Nope. I learned to tune 6 years ago when there were no resources. And it was exactly that, Alec. It was just hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of... I mean, basically what it was is change one value, go out and fly it, see if I can tell a difference. Change another value, go out and fly it, see if I can tell a difference. Change another value. And it was just one by one by one by one by one. And it was like, make the value higher, see what it does. Make the value lower, see what that does. And I mean, it was just repetition, repetition, repetition. This was also back in the days that micros were a hot fucking mess. And so a lot of the changes that I would make, it was just a nightmare. The electrical components were terrible, so there was lots of noise.
Not to mention the software.
The software wasn't as good. Yeah, I mean, it was... Although on one hand, the software was a lot simpler. It was basically just a PID loop, which is like KISS, right? Like to this day. But it was, it was much, much, much different. Hold on. I meant to plug this into Betaflight. No takers on the why does the soft tune fly just as good. This compost pile is the only one that took a shot. He says it's because of love. It's unfortunately not because of love, compost pile. Eva FPV's in the house. She says, God damn, that's locked. What's up, CiottiFPV? How are you? So it's all about response time, friends. Come on now. We've gone over this. You guys know it's all about response time. This rig is on bi-blades. Bi-blades are quite a bit lighter than tri-blades. So a lighter propeller will give you quicker response time. The PIDs, the P-Gain specifically, is based around response time. So by this rig being on the bi-blades, it's artificially pumping up the P-Gain because there's a mechanical advantage. There's less weight to speed up and slow down. The problem is the noise. The bi-blades are considerably louder than the tri-blades. What's interesting is that the bi-blades don't seem to be any less balanced. Usually bi-blades are much worse on the balance side of things than tri-blades, but not in this case. So we already pushed this tune a little bit with the master multiplier. I'm going to try to take a little bit of filtering out of it. Let's bring the dynamic notch filter down to 1 notch. And I'm going to leave everything else. Let's kick up this center sensitivity a little bit. And we're going to move the throttle midpoint down a little bit because for some reason this rig is hovering at a different... What that might be showing us is that on the tri-blades, these 1102s might be a little... They might be a little bit over-propped, basically. I'll experiment with that in the future. Today is about tuning. iTerm relax, we're going to move that back up to 10. I've never had a rig that's needed iTerm relax down at 5. 10 has always been enough. Anti-gravity is at 3. That's looking good. Dynamic damping. So let's push the DMax up to 1.2 like we did on the other tunes. That seemed to work well. We're going to move the stick response down to 0.8. Dgains, we can probably move them up, but I think I would rather move the master multiplier up. So we're going to kick the master multiplier all the way up to 1.5. Pitch tracking we'll leave alone. Morton Upshot says, what capacity cells are you running? I need to get me some 1S for my Mobile 7. These are 260 mAh. I don't like these props. I just use these props for tuning because I don't like them. So if I blow them up during tuning, I don't care. And I think I'm gonna leave everything else alone. This is yeah, this rig is flying stupidly well. Let's get another set of batteries on it and we might be good to go, which is awesome because it's 8 o'clock and I want to start painting this wall, yo. How did that cocking go on the baseboard, yo?
My phone changed cock because I left the U out to cock. I want you to know, the new iPhone is a little risque.
Really going for it, those Apple nerds.
Yeah, they definitely replaced that whole piece. You had a nice real water problem over there.
Oh, right. Yo, man, I've taken about 5 passes at this wall on getting that shit leveled out down in there.
Great. Yeah, it looks great.
Thank God.
No, it looks really good.
I got to the point where I kind of gave up. I was like, this is the best I can get it.
No, you give up because you finished. No, it looks great, man.
It's true.
I remember what it looked like.
All right, here we go. Last battery of the stream, then we're going to shut this motherfucker down. Ask any questions you've got in the chat. So, I mean, launch control is on. What? All right, now launch control is off. Just listen to it on the ground. Man, it's nice and quiet. Yeah, like it is just fine. Quick flip and roll, and then we're going to check runtime. Perfect. Wow. Wow. Okay, so this is full tilt locked in. So let's see. Yeah, it's easier to fly now with the... Okay, as I smash into a gate.
Better pilot on a tuned rig.
I know, right? So yeah, let's see what the runtime is. It should be a little bit more, to than those tri-blades, but man, 3 minutes was a lot. That was pretty shocking. Woo! I find running gates to be the most stressful, least enjoyable thing in the world. So I'm gonna stop doing it. What do we got going on over here? Ooh, look, it's my hair. Let's fly into that. Can you guys tell how much louder this rig is?
What?
Wow, I can't believe I can shoot that little gap with this. Maybe I'm getting used to these little tiny lifters.
How's the cornering?
It's fine. I mean, it feels incredibly heavy. But, you know, that's what happens when you put a 26-gram camera on a fucking Cinewhoop. But it's really not bad. I wish it wasn't quite this loud. This is loud enough where if I try to fly this in a sketchy spot, like, I'm definitely gonna get yelled at. Or maybe they won't care. I don't know. I'm interested to start doing that to see if, like, security guards are just like, whatever, you're just a donkey with a toy. You can do whatever you want. A lot less runtime. So, a lot less runtime.
Supposed to be more efficient. Or they spinning faster and more. I don't know.
My guess would be it's a motor thing. My guess is going to be that these BetaFPV 18,000s are not as efficient as the NBD Flow 10,000s. That's going to be my guess. That's interesting because that kind of kills the PH 2.0 is killing the runtime theory that I had a minute ago. Flies great though. Flies really, really good. I can test that. Next week, on next week's Whoop Wednesday, we are going to test the NBD Flow 1102 10,000s against 18,000s. I'll motor scale down the 18,000s to the same KV as the 10,000s, and we'll see what the difference is in runtime. Or maybe one of these two batteries is shit the bed. So we'll fly more than like one set of tuned batteries. We've got the tunes locked in, so now we can kind of start refining stuff. So yeah, that's what we'll do next week. Man, great success though on these tunes. This rig with these bi-blades, that's a hell of a tune that's on here. That I'm really shocked that we were able to get it to the point where there is just no bounce back at all. These are rigs meant for like cinematic flying. You really can't crash these with the Insta360 GO2 on them, so they don't have to have locked in tunes. But I mean, it's nice. It's nice that they do. Let me get caught up on chat, and then I'm gonna shut this motherfucker down. Oh, Craig Jordan, you answered the questions that I had for you. I'm sorry, brother. I didn't see the end of your question here. I want a smooth rig for indoors with some freestyle. Definitely not a GEPRC 2.5. Definitely not. I'm running 1404, 4600 kV, 220 grams, 4S 650. Yeah, that will not do. Well, I mean, I guess you could limp it around inside, but like, yeah, the only way to fly indoors with anything bigger than like these little tiny whoops is if you have like full-blown ducts on them. Can you fly a 5-inch non-ducted rig inside? Sure. Are you gonna have fun doing it? No, and you're gonna break everything. It's just, yeah, it's just not. It's not the one. So, and also, a rig that you're going to build to fly indoors is going to be terrible when it comes to freestyle. Like, those are polar opposites. So you kind of have to pick, to be super honest with you. If you want to try to do it all, you would need to find a bolt-on duct, not a guard, a full-blown duct with a nice tall vertical surface. There used to be one that was on the Transtech Beetle. I'm going to type it into chat. Transtech Beetle. Those are the ducts that you would need. They're not going to be very durable, but they're the only tall 2.5-inch duct. And then the prop that you're going to run, that you're going to want to run indoors, is going to be like a 6-blade or a 5-blade to get the noise level down, because you don't want the people that are indoors with you to want to stab you. So for indoor flying, you're going to want that type of a propeller. For outdoors and or freestyle, the Emax Avan 2.5-inch prop, I forget what it's called, but yeah, it's the only Emax Avan 2.5-inch prop. That is absolutely the best one. And then in terms of a motor, I mean, you've already got 1404 4600s. That's probably it. I mean, like, what's wrong with that motor that's on it now? Like, what is it that you're trying to improve? For those of you that are, so this sort of a conversation and like the questions back and forth of all this, this is what I do over on Fiverr as with the build planning service that I offer. We spend a half an hour or an hour bouncing these questions back and forth to get you dialed in with the absolute perfect rig. So if you have similar questions to this, or you just want your rigs to fly better for specifically what you do, I got you covered. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com. There's also affiliate links over there that you can click for nothing. That'll get me some free money before you do orders on Amazon, FPV Cycle, GetFPV, a bunch of other websites. Join the Patreon if you have 10 cents a day that you can spare for your gangly buddy. But yeah, if you can get me the answer to that question, Craig, before the end of the stream, I'll keep going. If not, there's another free stream on Friday, or hit me up on Fiverr. Alex Dvornik said, oh no, we got that. EVFPV says, goddamn, that's locked in. What's up? Oh wait, no, I've already read these. Compost Pile says, I can tell you, oh no, we got that. Michael D says, after the stream, search YouTube for New Zealand decking advert. I remembered it when you said about caulking. Oh boy. My curiosity is piqued. All right, I searched for it. Jackalope FPV with the last comment of the live stream, and it's a good one. I'm turning 30 tomorrow, and I hate it. I did too, Jackalope. I hated it. But you know what? My life got better after that. Patrick said 40's worse. Yeah, my life got better after 30. Maybe. I don't know. No, it didn't. But that's just me. You'll be fine. Love you guys. Be good. Bye. You'll be fine. I promise, Jackalope. Don't freak out. You're doomed.
He's so screwed. He used to be 20-something. Now he's 30-something.
He's still in your 20s.
He's actually closer to 40 than 30 because you can't go back, you know?
It's true. You can't go back. All right, guys. Here's some flying. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you don't, fuck off. Love you. See you guys Friday.
You crashed already. Fucking break the rest of the way, bitch.
Bye.